All right, hold on. Let me go deal with this. Go. Hopefully she'll just keep barking louder. All right. Sorry about that, Elliot. I busted your flow on that one.
You're fine. What is she barking at?
Nothing.
Just you're not paying attention. You're not paying
Imaginary
attention to me.
voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or your house is haunted.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Hey everyone, it's Elliot.
And Todd. Welcome to Two Designers Walk Into a Bar, an ongoing conversation about pop culture and iconic design.
Today our pockets are full of quarters for the jukebox.
And we're going to try to grab the remote control for the TV over the bar.
It's time to discuss some of our favorite music videos, unpack what makes them iconic, and see if they stand the test of time.
So slide the tables aside and clear off the dance floor.
We're spilling our drinks as we moonwalk our way across the bar. Okay, Todd, so last time we were in the bar and we had brought some videos with us and we were talking about them. And now we're back. We decided that we were going to go ahead and turn this into two parts because A, we got kind of tired. B, the bar was closing down. And C, I figured this was another golden opportunity for you to buy me even more drinks.
I somehow knew it was going to come to me buying you drinks.
Well,
just call it a hunch.
Yeah. You're clairvoyant.
So we got a lot of videos. Let's look on the good side of this. We have more iconic videos to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. So let's jump into another one I brought to the bar. How about that?
Okay. Sounds great.
Have you ever heard of a band from the land down under from Australia? Some band, their name was sort of an acronym. I don't even know how you'd pronounce it exactly, but the acronym was spelled INXS. Does that ring a bell?
INXS.
Oh, yeah. Them.
INXS.
Them. So
everybody loves them.
They were great. So INXS. So I want to talk about their video for Need You Tonight, which is, to this day, one of my favorite videos. So last time, of course, I talked about Aha and Take On Me. Yeah. And this, to me, ranks close to that. Like, I just love this video so much. I still really like it. And I remember with both Aha and this video, I mean, I was an avid consumer of MTV. And I remember distinctly when both of these videos were on it. And I would stop what I was doing and I would watch these videos. I mean, I thought they were great. So let's talk a little bit about Need You Tonight. So it was the first single released from the band's 1987 album, Kick. And you probably remember that. That was a big splash. That was really the first album that gave them worldwide acclaim. And it was, this track specifically was interesting because it actually transitioned into a second track seamlessly called Mediate. So it started with Need You Tonight and then it went to Mediate. But Mediate was never released as a single on its own, while Need You Tonight, the video, was shot by itself, and then I remember Mediate was also shot as another video by itself. And in some places you can find the video combined, and then in other places they're separate, but the two videos don't really relate to one another visually in any way. So I just want to talk about Need You Tonight. Do you remember this video at all? When was the last time you saw it?
Oh man, is this the one where they're using like color copies of the band? It's also rotoscoped color copies, and they're on white backgrounds, a lot of white space.
Yep.
Basically the band performing, but with an interesting technique. Is that the one
you got it. You have a very good memory.
Cool.
And so I'm hoping that comes into play later when you're remembering that my glass is empty.
Oh gosh.
But anyway, let's jump into this. So yeah, the music video combined live action and different kinds of animation, and it's really, really striking. I always thought it felt like a cassette tape insert or CD liner notes had come to life. It's almost like you're looking at the album and it's talking to you while you're looking at it.
It definitely mimics the album cover
Yes,
for Kick.
Exactly. And so I always love that. And also, the other thing I liked about Kick, and probably one of the reasons that I remember it so vividly, is longtime listeners know that I grew up skateboarding. And on the front of that specific album, one of the band members is standing on a Vision Psycho Stick skateboard, which you can see, and I love that. And I also love their Devil Inside video, actually has people skateboarding in it. But I digress. I don't want to get too far off topic here. So in this video, the band is playing against a white background, and they slide in and out of the frame at different scales. Sometimes they're in black and white, sometimes they're in color. And the film segments overlap at different speeds, and some are freezing in certain moments and then sort of drifting out of the frame, frozen. And the logo of the album appears at one point, like you were saying, referencing the cover art. And then giant type that says Kick slides sideways in the background toward the beginning of the video behind the band. It's really dynamic and fun, and especially in 1987 it felt new and fresh, and it was really slick, but at the same time it was really gritty.
Right.
In a way, it reminds me of our episode on Gen X and magazines and ray gun and things like that. It was really kind of right at the eve of that period really taking off. So it had this foot in the rough video, zine, photocopy aesthetic while still being well crafted and very, very smart. And then the other thing, going back and watching it, it really makes me miss Michael Hutchence.
Oh man, yeah, what a great front man he was. INXS was a great band, really fresh, and that style that you mentioned, which I think is really accurate, it was kind of slick but also gritty. And that was, I actually got to do a TV spot where I used very similar technique where you filmed everything in advance and then made color copies of it. So it has just an interesting, very watchable look. And you put the magnetism of those performers of that band in front of you, and you've got a winning combination.
Yeah, he definitely mugs for the camera in this video. Because it's, again, it's him, but it's not him, right? Because it's photos and Xeroxes and everything. I think that balance really, really works. And this video would actually go on and help the song Need You Tonight become the band's first and only single to reach the top of the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 when it hit number one in January of 1988. So we mentioned this came out in 87, so the following year, by the beginning of the year, it was number one. And as I mentioned earlier, they had released 5 albums, and they were massive in Australia. They were a household name in Australia. But thanks to MTV, the tastemaker that it was, this is the album and song that really led to the band's international stardom.
Interesting, because when I think about INXS, I certainly remember that time, but I can't remember a time when there wasn't INXS.
Yeah.
So that just shows you the power of how they marketed the band and how dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant. The music video was directed by Richard Lowenstein, and he's an Australian filmmaker who went on to direct most of INXS's other videos. And he had directed their first big hit in the U.S., What You Need, and then later other big hits like Never Tear Us Apart, New Sensation, Suicide Blonde. You've heard of all these songs, I'm sure.
Oh,
These were all hits.
Oh, yeah, hits.
Lowenstein also went on to direct 2 videos from U2's 1988 album Rattle and Hum, and those were for the songs Desire and Angel of Harlem, and you probably remember both of those videos too.
I have. I think I've heard of U2. I think they went on to do.
Yeah, they were from also. Ireland, I think, maybe somewhere like that.
Yeah, of course. Oh, you're pretending. But let's talk a little bit more about the Need You Tonight video by Lowenstein and how it was created. Tell me more. Yeah,
you hit the nail on the head earlier, though. He said that he created the effects essentially by cutting up 35 millimeter film, photocopying individual frames, and then relayering those images over the original footage and reshooting it.
Okay, so very cool. And I think that gives it a really interesting, novel look for that period. Did the video win any industry recognition?
All right, Todd, I'll admit it was no sledgehammer, but it did win 5, not 9.
Oh.
Not 6, like our friends Aha, but it won 5 MTV Video Music Awards, including 1988 Video of the Year, and was ranked at number 21 on MTV's countdown of the 100 greatest videos of all time. So it's no slouch.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's great. Oh, man. We're going to have to go back and just really dig into each one of these videos because there's so much more to learn about them now, isn't it?
Yeah, so we'll post all of these on our episode page, and people can go back and dig into them to their heart's content. And speaking of digging in, I've been plumbing the depths of the bar's cocktail menu.
Oh, yeah? What have you figured out?
Well, that a martini with cocktail onions is called a Gibson.
Okay.
That a Moscow Mule with rum is a dark and stormy.
Sounds good.
And, of course, that both drinks are waiting at the bar for you to pick up for us. Your treat, of course.
I should have known. All right, tonight's going to be an expensive one. We'll be right back. Hi. We want to take a moment to mention that if you're enjoying this episode, we have an archive of topics ranging from the Olympics to movie posters,
Think Ghostbusters,
iconic images,
Think Bigfoot,
punk music,
The Ramones,
Saturday morning cartoons,
The Pink Panther,
and failed products like OK Soda. Visit our website at twodesignerswalkintoabar.com for full episode notes and visuals, the latest blog content, and to sign up for our newsletter.
Follow us on social media. We can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Find the links on our website or search using the phrase "Two Designers Walk Into a Bar."
Most importantly, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps more people like you find podcasts like this.
And tell a friend about us. Send them a link to our podcast from your listening platform of choice.
And if you're inclined, buy our merchandise. Stickers, coasters, magnets, t-shirts. We're designers. We make good stuff, and it helps support the show.
Get in touch. Use the contact form on our website or send an email to hello@twodesignerswalkintoabar.com.
We read every message we get. Honest.
And we're available for speaking gigs. Email us to learn more.
Okay, now, back to the bar.
Okay, Todd, we have fresh drinks.
Yep.
This whole thing has been cloaked in mystery for me, for everyone else in the bar. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but everyone's looking at you right now, wondering what's about to happen next. So the floor is yours.
All right. So it's cloaked in mystery because I really thought you would make fun of me for bringing this video to the bar. I wouldn't necessarily say it's one of my all-time favorites. I think it's pretty amazing. I'm not normally a huge fan of this artist, but I think it's worth talking about because this is completely different from that heyday of MTV. And I'm talking about an artist, Taylor something. Taylor Swift, I think.
Tay-Tay? You're talking about Tay-Tay?
Tay-Tay. Yes, I'm going to tell you about a crazy video that Tay-Tay co-directed for her song Me. And you probably have not even heard the song before.
I will admit that I am probably not the demographic for this song.
That's true, and neither am I. But I will say I came across this video and I thought, oh, this is interesting. And it started with I watched the documentary on Netflix called Miss Americana, and
Okay.
has her recording the song. And so, I love a behind the scenes process and
So
blah, blah, blah,
wait,
all that stuff. So,
let's roll the tape backwards for a second.
okay,
You're
okay,
talking
okay.
about how you'd never seen this video, and you admit that Taylor Swift isn't in your demographic, and yet you found out about this because you were watching a documentary about Taylor Swift.
Yes. Well, it came up. Yeah. I mean, I watched.
Yes,
I watched
yes was the
documentaries
right
about.
answer. You could have stopped at yes.
I,
I feel like you're
I,
sputtering like an
you're the
outboard
you sound
motor,
like a
only half in
prosecutor.
the water.
I watched documentaries about ancient aliens, but I'm not an ancient alien either.
Well, you're not an alien.
Okay. Anyway, let me tell you about the song Me, because and some of our listeners who are, the three listeners besides us that may not be familiar with this song by Taylor Swift. The song is from 2019. It's an upbeat bubblegum pop and synth pop track. It's driven by this marching band drum line, and it's about embracing one's individuality, self-affirmation, and self-love. So far, so good, right? Well, the music critics were divided. Some described the production as cheery or campy. They either found the track catchy or tongue-in-cheek, or deemed it immature and cloying. And Spencer Kornhaber from The Atlantic wrote about this song. You're going to love this quote.
Okay, hit me.
Has almost none of the elements that once made Swift's music interesting, but it does have a dolphin screech for the chorus.
So, everything that you've been talking about, though, just to be clear, you're just talking about the song. You're not talking about the video.
Right now, I'm just talking about the song. We haven't gotten to the video. I just wanted to give you a vibe of the song.
Yeah, so this is, it's really, there's some tension here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it debuted on the Hot 100 at number 100.
Okay.
And then it jumped the next week to number 2, breaking the record for the biggest single week jump in chart history. So take that, music critics. That's what Miss Swift would say.
I would argue the critics were saying it was number 2 from the get-go.
Oh, you've been sitting on that one.
So to speak.
All right. So I had to dig into this because I'm not a Swiftie, but there's a whole lot she packs into her songs, her performances. And anyway, I had to dig into this because I didn't know some of this stuff. So if you're a Swiftie and you're listening to this, thank you for listening to us. And let me know if I missed something.
Wait, you're the one who watched the documentary.
I know. And you know what? It's a really good documentary. So this song shows her shrugging off this icy, vengeful character from her last album, which was called Reputation, and it's more sugary, euphoric. The song also features Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco, and it has it's a duet, and it has Taylor singing the line, "You'll never find another like me." So that's the whole thing. The song is about embracing yourself, flaws and all. But anyway, back to the video. So that's what we're here to talk about. To give it a little bit of cred, now we're in the age of Vivo. MTV is no longer showing music videos. This video, when it premiered, became the most watched video in the first 24 hours with 65.2 million views in just 24 hours.
Holy crap. Okay.
So, I know, a lot. People love some Tay-Tay. But as I said, she's known to pack things with Easter eggs and callbacks. So let me just hit you with some more surrealism here on this video. So you have in your head, it is a poppy, bubblegummy song, right?
Yep.
So it starts with this snake that's slithering on a colorful stone street. And snakes were a motif of her last album, Reputation. Remember, I said it was kind of vengeful, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
And there was a meme going around at that time of Taylor Swift as a snake. And it was kind of popped up after her very public breakup with Calvin Harris, with the DJ Calvin Harris, and also unrelated, her feud with Kanye and Kim. So
okay, got it.
So it starts with a snake, but it's like a pastel-colored snake. And anyway, symbolically, the snake explodes into a cloud of butterflies, like they do, putting it into that dark era of Reputation. And so, mind you, no album has been released with this song on it or this video.
Okay.
So there's a lot of teasing going on here, all right, from the song.
Got it. How long was it that the album came out after the video?
Well, interestingly enough, you know, Tay-Tay's fans, they dig into stuff, right? They looked at the title, Me, capital M, capital E, exclamation point. They turned it upside down and it said 13W. So they estimated it would be 13 weeks before the album was released. And it was a little off. It was more like 17 weeks, but come on, like
that's crazy.
That may not have been planned, you know, that's what I'm saying.
So what you're saying is Taylor Swift is part of the Illuminati?
I think she runs the Illuminati,
wow. Okay.
And she probably could. But okay, back to the exploding snake. The camera follows one of the butterflies up into an apartment, and this appears to be like French styling. It appears to be like a landscape of like Paris. Taylor and Brendan are having a fight, and they're having a fight in French for whatever reason. So I think it's supposed to go back to like French cinema.
Okay.
Anyway, this scene calls back a Panic at the Disco video called But It's Better If You Do. It opens kind of in a similar way. So they're having this fight in French. In the corner, there's a Christmas tree, which is an Easter egg because you probably knew this. It's not Christmas in the video, but Taylor grew up on a Christmas tree farm in Pennsylvania.
I can tell you, again, not having seen the documentary, I in fact did not know that.
I didn't know that either. But you are a cat person, and I think this is where it's going to really start getting you.
Okay.
Two of her cats, Olivia Benson and Meredith Grey,
Those are great.
they have a cameo in this video playing her young daughters.
Okay.
Like there's a scene where they're like, "Why are you fighting in front of our young daughters?" And it shows the
cats are just lounging on the couch. Yeah, like, are you guys gonna stop jawing and feed us, or what's happening?
Yeah, which I think is hilarious. Okay, anyway, so she leaves the apartment, slams the door. Her mood starts changing to this perky song. She starts singing, blah, blah, blah. There's a line that says, "You're the kind of guy that ladies want," and there's a lot of cool chicks out there. Cuts to a wall of framed pictures of baby chickens, you know, and in the middle is a picture of the Dixie Chicks. Fans think this was because she's friends with them and invited Natalie Maines from the Dixie Chicks to sing Goodbye Earl on her 89 tour. Anyway,
okay.
She has a picture of the Dixie Chicks in her video, whatever that means. So, I mean, literally right now, we're maybe 20 seconds into the video, right? So I'll pick it up here. She's seen leaving the lobby of this apartment. She's accompanied by 13 thunderclouds. You know 13's her favorite number.
Taylor, if you're listening, my birthday is March 13th.
So she probably would love that. One of the clouds engulfs her like a snake, but then turns into dust. So whatever. Don't know what that means, but she emerges from her apartment building. All of a sudden, she's in this candy-colored fantasy world.
It's just like Aha's video, but in reverse.
It is. It turns into these pastel colors to signify her new era. And I learned there was even an Instagram filter to fit this new era. So you know you are the queen of all media if you're doing that.
Absolutely.
So she's emerged from this dark place. And some fans have also interpreted that color scheme as references to rainbows, which deepens her message of support for her LGBTQ fans. So either way, it's this candy-colored environment. She has a line in the song that says, "One of these things is not like the other," which is taken from a Sesame Street song.
I remember
that.
Has to do with that.
I don't. Who knows? I don't know what it has to do with anything, but it does. And when she says that, these dancers kind of surround her with 7 suitcases, indicating, here you go. This is a conspiracy.
Oh.
Her 6 previous albums, plus the mystery one on the way. How about that?
Or maybe she walked into that game show where everybody has a briefcase with a different dollar amount in it.
Maybe so.
But was that Let's Make a Deal? Wasn't that the show?
It was
or Deal or No Deal. Let's Make a Deal. Although this is sort of like a combination because everybody's wearing a costume. It's like Deal or No Deal meets Let's Make a Deal.
Yeah,
I would pay good money to see that.
Yeah, yeah. So she knows her fans, right? She knows they're going to watch and scrutinize every frame. And some eagle eye fans have spotted that the entire video takes place in this kind of chrysalis. Like if you look at the sky, it looks kind of plasticine and has this sort of rainbow shimmer to it to continue that butterfly theme. She's coming out of this darkness. She's growing. She's changing.
She should have called her last album Pupa.
Yeah, true, true. So the second verse is sung by Brendan Urie, and it gets weird. He jumps off this balcony, grabs an umbrella, Mary Poppins style, right? And he's wearing this floral print suit and flying through the air. He lands on a roof of this building with this unicorn-shaped downspout, like
it's sort of like a gargoyle.
Like
yeah.
Right, yeah, but it's a unicorn, which I think has something to do with, bubblegum fantasy.
And also, a unicorn is truly unique, so there's only, one of something, Todd.
Oh, okay, see? Look at you. Are you on the Taylor Swift mailing list? And
well, I don't want to brag.
All right, so anyway, she's seen sitting on the edge of this building where he lands, and she's wearing this pink dress, but it turns into this gooey pink waterfall, right? Don't know why, but
it's
does.
Made from cotton candy, that's why.
Well, maybe so, and it's getting wet. But we look out over this kind of Parisian cityscape, and there's a neon sign that says "Lover" on it. No one knows, but that would be the forthcoming album's title.
Okay.
So there you go. That's pretty obvious. During this scene when they're on the roof, Brendan Urie tries to woo her, first with the classics, a bouquet of beautiful flowers. She turns her nose up. Then a beautiful diamond ring. She scoffs at that. Finally, he presents her with this beautiful kitten.
Yeah, Siamese kitten, I think, right?
Yeah, and which, inside scoop, she went on to adopt that kitten as her third cat to be, a brother to Olivia and Meredith.
Okay, what's that cat's name? What TV character is that one? Is that like
Benjamin Buttons?
Is that really the name of this cat?
It is, yeah.
Well, then it's super old.
Everybody knows
Then it's super
this.
old if it was a kitten because if it's Benjamin Buttons, you see?
Well, yeah, but he looked like a baby.
Well, he was.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. He was a baby, but he was super.
Right.
So in fact, he was presenting a kitten, but in fact, it was like this 16-year-old cat.
So let me just ask: is this the part of the video that you're starting to pick apart for logic?
Yeah, well,
This is the part.
It's because of the name of the cat. See.
The waterfall dress made of goo and the flying through the air. None of that.
Todd, you don't know what kind of medication I'm on. A lot of those things I see all the time. I mean, that's just on the daily with me. Okay, so but then when you got this cat that's defying logic and science and aging in reverse, that piques my interest.
Oh, okay. Well, let me get on with that's the only place that Benjamin Buttons appears in the video, and he did grow. Actually, she was on the cover of Time. Not, I think she was Time's Person of the Year.
Okay.
That cat is draped over her shoulder in the photograph on the cover.
Is it like regular size at that point?
Yeah, it's grown up cat now.
Oh. Well, that's somehow less interesting. Okay, well, I'll have to look that up. Maybe we can put the Time cover. We can put that on the episode page, and then we can have a caption to identify which one is Taylor Swift and which one's the cat.
All right. So, listeners, to get you back up to speed, snake, butterflies, blah, 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 French argument, storms out, pastel colors, Brendan flies through the air on an umbrella, ring, no, flower, no, cat, yes.
I'm going to make French Argument the name of my new band. I love that.
Okay, I like that too. So anyway, the camera cuts to Brendan Urie, and he's opening his heart, which is revealed to be a kaleidoscope, and this is kind of a callback to a reference to one of Taylor Swift's 2014 songs, Welcome to New York, where she sings Kaleidoscope of Loud Heartbeats Undercoats. Don't know the song, but anyway, it's part of it.
Usually in New York, the only thing you're going to find under a coat that someone's willing to show you is, well, we'd rather not talk about that.
It's going to be loud. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I was thinking it was going to be like a flasher.
Okay. Yeah, probably. So anyway, for some reason, now after you fly through the kaleidoscopic Brendan Urie Hart, you end in this kind of go-go dance studio. It's pink and it's orange, and the band is cherubs. They're playing instruments.
Cherubs always play instruments, man. Haven't you ever looked at a church ceiling or anything?
It sounds funny when I'm saying it.
Oh, okay.
It sounds funny when I'm saying it. But, as the bridge happens, we cut to Swift and Urie. They're now in marching band uniforms, blue marching band uniforms, with all of the dancers dressed in the same marching band uniforms, but they're in pink. And it cuts to a scene of them dancing on this floating psychedelic background. And the last scene, we go back to the street level of this French scene, and it depicts Swift in this blue attire. And again, it's kind of melting, gooey liquid bubble gum that's running all over the streets. It's like flooding the streets, and Brendan Urie is kind of summoning the same pastel liquid goo from the street. It's like it's hitting on the chorus, and it ends with them entering the same apartment building under an umbrella as that bubblegum rain just continues to flood the streets. So there you go. That only takes about, maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes in the video, but it is chock full of stuff.
Man, I genuinely have no idea what we just talked about.
Well, I'll tell you what we talked about. We talked about millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All to communicate on this other level with your fans. Like, wow. So anyway, I mentioned the documentary that's on Netflix, and I did watch it, and I found it interesting because it has her wrestling with some of her beliefs and being public with those, which I thought, was really interesting. Artists have to do that. She understands her role, creating the song. And, she says, she wanted something in the video that kind of hit on all of these things that was about her life: musical theater, cats, gay pride, cowboy boots, all of those. So she packed it all in somehow.
That's quite the grocery list, yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, so she started with a long list. Let me see, bubblegum, unicorns, snakes, and then she was like, all right, how am I going to make a story out of this? But Chris Willman of Variety, he described the music video as phantasmagorical delight that induces an instant sugar rush in a bubblegum psychedelia.
So props to Brendan Urie for going along with all of this. I mean,
yeah, and he's great.
Yeah, he does a good job in it. So it just makes me wonder when he got that phone call or got that email, and she, hey, I have an idea. Let me bounce this off you. I wonder how long that pitch took.
If you watch the documentary, you can see when that
really?
happens.
Okay.
And watch the reaction.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I completely respect Taylor Swift and what she's been able to do. I think she's a wonderful songwriter. It's not my genre of music necessarily, but watching this video, you really you forget there's a song behind it, and you're just watching all of this stuff that took months and months and months.
Yeah, it really starts to drift over into the cinematic.
It really does.
And it almost is like the video was made first, and almost like the song was made to support it, almost like a musical or something. So
that's really interesting. Yeah. So I had a couple takeaways from all of our music videos.
Yeah, hit me. I want to hear these.
See what you think, and then I want to hear yours too. So I think, to what you just said, there's a fine line between having a video push the song and the video swallowing the song whole. And, it may have swallowed the song on that. I can't say it's a line because I'm not necessarily following her career. I had a teacher in college that this was around the time MTV was really cranking. And he said, I'll always remember, if MTV were around in the 60s, they would have ruined the Beatles. In other words, they were telling you what to think. You were not using your imagination.
Right.
So that stuck with me. in creating my own TV spots, and that you can't just feed it to people. You have to give them, like, let them figure it out. Anyway, so my second takeaway is when you put so much money on the screen, my eyes can't help but watch it, no matter what the soundtrack is. I want to see how they resolve it. And both Sledgehammer and Me by Taylor Swift, they put a lot of money on the screen. I think you'll agree.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, they were both labors of love, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because they didn't have to do the depth or amount of work that they did.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can argue the Sledgehammer video probably sold more records for Peter Gabriel, but, you know, people were going to buy Taylor Swift's records anyway, so I think it was a labor of love, but it gave them something to talk about. So my last takeaway, and this one might be a little controversial, but let me know what you think. I think a fantastic video can make a mediocre song great, but I think a mediocre video can drag a great song down. You know, and that seems counter to what we should think. We should say a great song is a great song no matter what. But I think if you put a lot of money to it, it makes it, you know, I kind of can buy that it's even a better song. But
So
I don't know. What do you
can
think?
I get philosophical with you for a moment?
You can be anybody you want to be.
So this reminds me of the whole is the glass half full or is the glass half empty argument.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the way that I resolve that argument is if the glass arrived at that state by someone removing liquid from it, like it was full, you put a straw in and you drank half of it, and now the water line is only halfway up the glass, then it's halfway empty.
Okay.
But if the glass was fully empty before, and you take a pitcher and you pour water into it, and it fills halfway up, then I regard it as halfway full, because there's never been any more in there that's been taken away.
Okay, so interesting. So let me take your theory and play that with Taylor Swift here. So does that mean since no one had seen anything or heard anything of this song until this candy-colored phantasmagorical feast, that it was half full?
Yes. So I think it all goes back to, do you hear the song first and then see the video, or do you see the video? And obviously, if you're seeing the video, then you're also being introduced to the song at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
So to me, is it a package deal, or is it like half of it? Is the video bolted onto the song later?
Yeah, interesting.
So the reason I bring this up is because I grew up completely watching MTV, as we've been talking about.
Yeah.
My wife did not. You know, her family didn't have cable growing up. So whenever we hear 80s songs or, you know, early 90s songs or whatever, she'll sing along to the song. She knows the song. And I'll say to her, oh my gosh, I can totally see this video in my head while we're listening to this. I'm like, do you remember? And I'll go on to describe the video. And she'll say, no, I don't remember this video at all because I didn't have MTV. I just like the song.
Yeah.
So for me,
Makes
it's
sense.
always been a package deal. I will certainly, a lot of times I've heard the songs on the radio as well, while I was also seeing them on MTV, because obviously radio was another sales channel for people to be exposed to music and go buy records. But for me, being, I think, also a visual thinker, the video and the music are intertwined.
It triggers. If I happen to hear Aha on the radio, I can't help but think about the video.
Yes, 100%.
But I love the song.
Yes,
You know,
the song is
without
a
the video, I
perfectly
love the
wonderful song. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yes, you just see that video.
Right.
So this makes me want to jump into my takeaways really quickly.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
So talking about the Aha video, my first takeaway is I apparently really, really like animation because both of the videos that I brought to the table are animated, but they're animated in different ways, right? So the Aha video, of course, was these rotoscoped sketches of these individual frames. And then the Need You Tonight video, the INXS video, it was film stills that were taken and then Xeroxed in black and white, Xeroxed in color, then almost collaged, slapped back together, reshot, and then made animated. So it was really these static art forms that were then made kinetic. And so I think for me growing up, I couldn't have articulated it at the time, but I think I really liked sort of the magic or the technique. Like being an artist, being a kid who loved art, I just sort of inherently understood and appreciated what they were doing, right? I knew that took work because I had drawn stuff and I had Xerox stuff. And that, to me, was a little bit of magic put in that.
And specifically, with just those two, I'm sure you love all other kinds of animation too, but specifically, those are both rotoscoped where it was live action captured on film and then transferred to a different medium. So, and that gives it a magic, right? Because it's like, is this real or is it not?
And the answer is yes, right? It's both.
Yeah. It's no dancing chickens.
Well, what is?
All right, hit me with your second one.
Okay, so for my second thought, my second takeaway, I appreciate how in both cases, the idea of what a music video could be was pushed, right? And I really think that's with all of these that we've talked about. And I also think that means a lot of times mixing different mediums together to create something totally new. And I think, again, going back to the early days of MTV with some of these videos, because the video concept was so new, as we've talked about previously in our MTV episode, there were no real rules. So people were truly building the plane as they were flying it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I think the internet with the Taylor Swift video is really the same way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I love how you talked about her fans going in and trying to unpack all of these different details.
Right.
So not only were they welcomed it with open arms, they wanted the rules to be broken. They wanted to drill deeply into this stuff.
Yeah.
And that is their version, again, going back to our Riffs on Riffs episode or some of our past album art episodes. Taylor Swift's video, in my opinion, is the elaborate album art that everybody is watching and digging into while they're appreciating the music.
Yeah, 100%. It's another way for her to connect that they all understand.
Yeah. And for my last thought, great music makes great videos and vice versa. So I know you talked about how the two can sometimes deep six one another, but I think if you have great music, you're going to want to rise to the occasion with the videos. And I feel that both of my examples were situations where 1 + 1 really equaled 3, right?
I agree.
It was more than either one of those things on their own. You combine them together, and that's really when sparks fly and magic happens. So
I agree. I can listen to those songs without the video and really enjoy them. So I think you're right. While I stand by what I said, which could be controversial, in those particular cases with AHA and with INXS, and I would say Peter Gabriel as well, like there was a standard bar raising because you had a song that was really kicking it, and you had to kind of present it to the world in a new and interesting way. So I can't really think of, like, if it was just a live camera shot of INXS performing, that would be watchable, but it wouldn't have withstood the test of time.
Right. And if you think about popularity of bands and shows like whatever, Top of the Pops or American Bandstand, that stuff already existed. That was easy, relatively speaking, to come by. So this was something new and something special and something that people wanted to watch repeatedly.
Well, so this was a really interesting conversation we had across a couple episodes, and I have to say, I really appreciate you not shaming me for bringing a Taylor Swift song to the bar, and I kind of feel like I owe you a drink for that.
Oh, I think going back to my comment about 1 + 1 equaling 3, I think you at least owe me 2 drinks and maybe even a third.
Oh, gee, I knew I just could not get by with being generous and humble for a change. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Elliot. This is a great conversation, and we'll see everyone next time in the bar.
Drink up.